What is up, everybody? How you doing today? Today, back out here on Hunter Call the Wild, and today we're going to be going over the top 5 most common rares. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, completely new to the game, rares are a specific fur type of an animal that you're not supposed to find very often, like albinos, piebalds, melanistics, that kind of thing. And these animals on this list are some very common rares. If you're looking for your first rare or two, these would be some animals to go after. Okay. For those of y'all who do know a little bit more about the game, I'm going to go ahead and say melanistic European rabbits are not on this list because they're such a more common rare. They're basically considered uncommon. The spawn rate's like 2% or something. So they're not on here. But let's go on ahead and get into this. Coming in at number 5, we have the melanistic brown bear. These guys are very common. I have probably half a dozen myself, and I've killed quite a lot of animals, and I don't really hunt brown bear a lot in particular, and I've found like half a dozen of them. They're not that hard to come across. They're really, dark looking, hard to tell apart from the light grays, but you can tell the difference, and they are just all over the place. Like if you join a low level medvid server, you're more than likely going to find one. I'm just going to go ahead and leave that there. Coming in at number 4, we have the Lucistic black buck, and these are found on Parque Fernando. Some people consider these an uncommon. Most people would consider a lot of the animals on this list an uncommon, but these in particular have been known to be slightly more common than other rares ever since Parque Fernando came out. Just absolutely everywhere. If you really seriously grind a black buck, you would find so many of these guys. They would be a good potential one if you wanted to try and find a super rare. They would be a good one to go for. That and a few of these other animals on this list. Coming in at number 3, we have Piebald Rocky Mountain elk. Now, these are only found on SRP, and they have 2 different patterns. One of them is actually a rare, and it's a generic piebald pattern. The other one is like this speckled, flecked pattern, and it is more like an uncommonish rare. I haven't seen one in a while, but I also haven't hunted a lot of SRP recently. Like, I've hunted it maybe twice in the past few months. So, I haven't seen a lot. But when I did play SRP for a long time, there were piebald Rocky Mountain elk all over the place. They were just something, if you hunted Rocky Mountain elk in particular, you would definitely find them. And even not trying to hunt Rocky Mountain elk, you would still find them. So they're really not that hard to come across. If you want to find a rare, that's a good one to start with. Coming in at number 2, we have the piebald mule deer. And ever since, well, especially Rancho del Arroyo, because now we have 3 mule deer maps, but ever since SRP, really, the piebald mule deer you really saw a lot more of. You would still see a lot of them on Parque Fernando, but there's so many more mule deer, in my opinion, on Silver Ridge Peaks. They're a lot easier to see, so you tend to find quite a lot more. Again, there are 2 different patterns: a generic piebald pattern, which seems to be a little more rare, and what I call like a sneaky piebald. It's mostly the normal gray fur type, common fur type, but with a little white blotch on the side and on the neck. And that is the one I see so many times. Like if I'm on SRP multiplayer, low level server, it doesn't even have to be a low level server, any server, and you check mule deer drink time, you're at least going to find a piebald doe somewhere. And I've lost count. I've probably found 20 something, maybe 30 piebald mule deer, and it's just ridiculous. There are so many of them, it's not even funny. Coming in at number 1, we have the piebald pronghorn. And these are mostly at the top of the list for me in particular because I did a pronghorn grind for a couple months. Got 750 kills, and when I say I probably had 15 piebalds in those 750 kills, I am not kidding. Maybe I even had more. I don't even remember at this point. There were so many of them, it wasn't even funny. The piebald pronghorn were everywhere. I mean, it took me 180 kills to get my first diamond one, and I got a piebald one in like 30 kills. Okay, that's how common these guys are. You go hunt piebald, you go hunt pronghorn on SRP, you're gonna find one. And it's just a matter of fact. They're just everywhere. So if you want to find your first rare, or you really just want to find some unique animals, the animals on this list are what you should go for. You're very likely to find a rare. So for those of y'all who don't have one, go find these. You will find one very soon. Trust me. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you found it helpful. Let me know if you find any of these, if you haven't found any of these, or how many of them you have found if you found a lot of them. So hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time.